I think we missed a spot. It's a nasty engine bay. I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick. We're with DIY Detail, and we debated on whether to do this video.
Right, because normally, even as a professional, I didn't do engines because there's a lot of potential problems here.
What are the potential problems? Because I just told people I'm not a gearhead, and I don't want to mess something up that involves you driving your car down the road.
Right.
I'm really good at cleaning vehicles' paint and the interiors. I barely know my way around here. That's what I would tell people.
Yeah.
Just so they would understand why I didn't want to do their engine bay.
Right. Now, there's a lot of electronics under the hood of cars these days. If you have an EV, I wouldn't even go near it. But this is a 10-year-old car. There are a lot of electronics, but it's not that bad. And I've been detailing for 40 years. I've detailed a lot of engines, even though I don't like detailing them. So we'll be able to get this done safely.
This is like your best friend or brother says, I'm hell-bent on doing this. I'm gonna do it whether you recommend it or not. This is for you. If you're gonna do it, whether we say to do it or not, we wanna give you some best practices.
Right, and those best practices are actually quite simple. We don't wanna get in here with a pressure washer at 3,000 PSI. We've set our pressure washer to the lowest it will go, which is 500 PSI. We're using a turbo nozzle, which actually puts out a lot less water than a regular nozzle, and it agitates force. So we're not gonna be getting in here necessarily with brushes. Yes, we're gonna brush a little bit of this, but we're gonna try to do the least amount of work under the hood, but still get a good result.
I'm gonna tell you some questions I have as a casual watcher of YouTube videos.
Yes.
Do I need to put a plastic bag over anything inside the engine bay?
On an older vehicle, I would do it over the alternator and distributor if you have one. Now this vehicle doesn't have a distributor, doesn't have anything like that, and we have this big plastic cover that's covering a lot of the sensitive parts. So we're gonna leave that cover in place, and it's doing the job for us.
And what about the hood? When and do I pressure wash this?
We don't. So we'll brush this and rinse it off, albeit actually a fair distance. Again, we turn the pressure washer down. And if you can't turn your pressure washer down, use your garden hose.
So we're using a pressure washer?
We're using a pressure washer, but we're using it diligently. And like I said, our pressure washer, we can actually turn the pressure down. We're using less volume of water, less pressure, and I'm not gonna be right up here. I'm gonna be back here. I'm rinsing it. I'm not trying to pressure wash it. We're trying to rinse off as much of this as we can before we do anything else. Then the next step is Incredible Suds in the foam can.
Okay, I'm just gonna step out of the way so you can do your thing.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna watch you do what you do.
Now that we've sprayed it off, we're gonna let chemicals do the work for us. And we're gonna be using Incredible Suds in the foam can. Now we all know that Incredible Suds lives up to its name. And it has a lot of sudsing action, and those suds are gonna help us here. Now we're gonna let Incredible Suds do its job. It's gonna be breaking down the dirt, it's gonna be emulsifying it, and getting it so that when we rinse again, it'll come clean. Next step, brushing. And my friend Nick here really likes getting in the tight little details with his brush.
He likes to put me to work. Can I just go for it? Do I need to know anything?
Go for it.
One question I had is, obviously a hot engine bay, right? If it's been driven today, what do you want to avoid? I mean, I'm looking at, give me all the danger zone areas that I don't want to mess around with.
Well, actually, if the engine was hot, we wouldn't want to necessarily detail it. This one, it's been sitting here for half an hour and it hasn't really driven today since earlier this morning. So we're not really concerned about that.
I mean, I saw you foam cannoning everything. Like, what were you were squirting into here and there? Like, I remember Levi Gates from the Rag Company saying once about engine bays, where do you stop? And so he would tell customers when he was running a shop, I'll clean what I can see.
Yeah, and that's basically what we're doing, but I know I can get into certain areas with the foam cannon, so I might as well let the foam cannon do a bit of the work for us. And then the underside of the hood. With a little detail brush, Nick is able to get into areas that haven't seen clean in a long time.
Man, I am out of my league here. I'm a fish out of water, and it just would be pretty nerve-wracking for me. I mean, is there someone you would tell that for sure shouldn't be detailing an engine bay? You mentioned older classic cars, or?
Yeah, older classic cars. If you're not comfortable doing it, don't do it. It's that simple. Now, this is my car. I'm taking the responsibility, so I'm not really worried about it.
You're kind of a car guy.
Slightly, yeah.
You might know a thing or two.
Been there, maybe have done that. So, with this, now we rinse it off again. So you notice how far back I am. I'm not getting into the nitty-gritty details. I'm letting the water get in there and do its job. So I've rinsed off not only the engine bay, but around the engine bay as well, because we have a bit of overspray here and there. And we're gonna dry it a little differently. We're not gonna get in here with towels. We're gonna use actually two tools. We have the good old faithful, the leaf blower, but we also have a Master Blaster. And the Master Blaster, old school tool that works wonderfully. There we have it. Now, is it perfect? No. But the way it was, when I was a mechanic back in the day, someone had showed up like this, I would have charged them extra to work on their car. Or I would have washed the engine and charged the customer extra. So this was a case where we needed to wash the engine.
I'd say people who are gonna clean their engine bay probably want to dress it and give it that pop.
Some do, some don't. I'm not the pop type, simply because it can attract a bit of dirt. And the other thing is, you'll notice all around the edges here, we have what looks like grease. This is undercoating. It's designed to protect this vehicle against rust. So I don't want to remove all of that. We touched a little bit of it, but I want that to stay where it is. So, and with the dressing that can dissolve it, it gets to be messy. So this is a nice safe way. We've washed it, it's clean. A mechanic can put their hands in here and be comfortable.
So I have two questions. Do you prefer the Master Blaster or the leaf blower? I think for the money, the leaf blower is great. The Master Blaster will last forever and does as advertised what it's supposed to do.
Right, and the Master Blaster puts out hot air, which actually helps in drying the vehicle. So it does have its place in detailing. It's a fun tool to have. Depends on whether you want one or not. That being said, we're ready to close the hood. We'll rewash the exterior of the vehicle because we did get a lot of overspray on it. We're just gonna give it a quick rinseless wash and it's ready to drive away.
I will say, being a detailer, folks wanted their engine bays detailed before they sold the vehicle. A clean engine bay probably is going to get you a better price when you sell your car.
Exactly, that's why dealerships do it all the time.
Those dealerships. This is about do-it-yourself, folks. We're empowering you to figure all this stuff out. For Ivan LaCroix, I'm Nick McGurk. DIY Detail Podcast. We have so much more information right up above.